for the scientific mind. What's happening? These are laws of physiology. It's called all or none. A stimulus, any amount over the threshold, will give a complete response to the nerve or muscle fiber. So what that means is the way nerves work is you have to do something to it to get a response, right? So you can do something that's minimal and you might not get the response, but when you do something that's adequate, you get the response. You get the same response if you do something more than adequate, but you end up with irritation and inflammation. So the Bowenwork moves are working exactly at the level that is needed for the nervous system signal to be activated. Nothing more at all. And so therefore we avoid irritation and inflammation. And I was mentioning this before, the law of conservation of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. So when there is an injury, energy is absorbed. Can you imagine, in a car crash, how much energy could be absorbed by the body if you hit the steering wheel or some other injury? So in order for that to be released, we give it the stimulus. So we give it the Bowenwork move. And so that's why we give the 2 minutes between the sets of moves for that energy to be released. So I think it's been about 2 minutes. I'm going to start on the knee. So I'm going to do another couple moves on both sides. And give it 2 more minutes. Okay, so then you saw that I was moving pretty slowly over that muscle. Nothing sudden. Arndt-Schultz law. Weak stimuli activate physiological processes and very strong stimuli inhibit physiological processes. So the weak stimuli of going very slowly, gently over the muscle actually stimulates these processes that I was talking about. Whereas, if I was to hit it or do something sudden to it, it actually inhibits a process. And there are modalities available that do things with a very strong stimuli, and that's how they work, is that they inhibit these responses. But since my goal is to only work with the healing power of nature in order to have a response that's a healing response, and I don't want to suppress anything or inhibit anything, I go for the weak stimuli, which are the gentle moves. Okay, reciprocal inhibition. When one set of muscles is in chronic contraction, the antagonist, which means the ones on the other side, will be inhibited and actually weakened and lengthened. So again, if you have some kind of, say you bent over to pick something up, and you end up with a spasm on this side of your back. Well, because the back is this way, this side has to lengthen in order to, because it is being stretched, right? And so it ends up in a chronic lengthened state. So we truly rebalance the muscle tension because we're working through the nervous system to relax that muscle, and the way the nervous system signal works is the one on the other side is tonified or balanced. Okay, let's do a couple more here. And the set of moves for the knees are actually one that you learn in the class that I teach in the Introduction to Bowenwork class. Okay, I'll give you another 2 minutes. Okay, and this is going to apply to this because Hilton's law is a nerve trunk that supplies the joint also supplies the muscles of the joint and the skin over the attachment of those muscles. So what does that mean? When I do these moves over her knee, I'm just going very gently over the skin and the muscle. But it actually can affect the joint. It can affect the cartilage in there, the joint space, the fluid in there, because all of these have common nerve joinings. And that's how the nervous system works. You know, this is a physiological law of anatomy. So this is also a reason why sometimes you can't quite tell what's hurting. Well, you know, is it my muscle? Is it, well, just the whole thing hurts. Because once you have an injury to one part, it actually works through the nervous system to generalize the pain to other parts. So with the Bowenwork, we reverse that by working very lightly with the muscles, with the soft tissue. We're able to affect the joints, the fluid in there, the bones, the muscles, the tendons, all of that. Okay, enough of,
Does it work for each joint?
yes,
So you can actually do the fingers
yes,
and the hips?
yes.
Wow.
And what's interesting is in a general Bowenwork session, we do a basic relaxation sequence, which is along the spine, because that's our core, right? And most dysfunction actually can be traced to something closer to the core. So, you know, there's an analysis of, you know, where the tension or where there's most dysfunction, and that's, you know, where we focus. But we start with a general balancing because that can resolve so many things.
It affects organs?
Yes, it also affects organs. In fact, in the introductory class, there is a move that helps open up the lungs. This is very helpful for you know, people with asthma. It's helpful for even elite athletes who need a little more wind. You know, it helps their endurance. And you know, if you're having some kind of allergic reaction, maybe there's smoke or pollens, it helps that too. So the moves, and it's kind of this same law where, you know, things, well, there's many things. We're working with the nervous system so that actually we can affect the organs through the nervous system, as well with the acupuncture points that are related to organs. So like the first moves I did here, I said we're on the kidney meridian because they have to do with fight or flight, with putting you into the parasympathetic healing state. So, you know, just those two moves, I'm affecting the adrenals and the nervous system because of the acupuncture